Phil Spencer wins a Lifetime Achievement Award. Satya Nadella talks about Microsoft being all in on gaming, and he also talks about the Activision Blizzard deal as well as the future for gaming and the internet. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So Phil Spencer, as we know, has done absolutely amazing things since he became the head of Xbox, really turning around the entire division for Microsoft to a point right now where they are all in on gaming, and we're going to talk about that after this piece of news. So all of those achievements, everything that he has done, he has won an award here, a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 25th Annual DICE Awards, which is a part of the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. Now, he's going to be presented this award on Thursday, February 24th, on a live stream by IGN, and it's going to be held at the Mandalay Bay Resort in Las Vegas. Now, the winner of this award is somebody who has accomplishments that span a broad range of disciplines over a lengthy career in the industry. And I mean, when you think of Phil Spencer, you kind of think about all the stuff he's done, which started back with the Xbox One. He really came in after Don Matrick with the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, then the Series X, the Series S, and that transition to Game Pass and then more of a service-oriented industry for gaming with the subscription, with cloud gaming and all that type of stuff. He's brought a lot of innovation to the industry that we're in today. We're even seeing that happen live right now with kind of like that arms race between Sony and Microsoft to acquire more IPs and more studios, because they know the future of gaming is going to be service, subscription, cloud gaming, and all that type of stuff. He's also done a lot of other great things to help the gaming industry, such as like cross-platform, cross-save, being able to play anywhere that you want, backwards compatibility, game preservation, all that type of stuff. He has done all this while being the head of Xbox. So I think it's a very well-deserved award. And if you want to check it out, you want to check out him receiving it, make sure to tune in on February 24th. Now, Phil Spencer is the head of Xbox for Microsoft, but Satya Nadella is the CEO of the entire company. So he has really the final say of everything that goes on there. He gives the okay, the go ahead to do what Xbox has been doing over the last couple of years, the last several years. I always say that it started pretty much back in 2017 when they launched Xbox Game Pass to get where we are today. And because of how successful Xbox has been since that point, he put out a video today with Phil Spencer talking about how Microsoft is all in on gaming. So here's a bit of what he had to say. Gaming is fundamentally aligned and woven into our mission as a company. When you talk about Xbox's mission to bring the joy and community of gaming to everyone on the planet, which I absolutely love, this is precisely what I think when we think about Microsoft's mission, which is to empower every person, every organization on the planet to achieve more. So as a company, Microsoft is all in on gaming. We believe we can play a leading role in democratizing gaming and defining the future of interactive entertainment, quite frankly, at scale. Which, I mean, it makes complete sense if you look at where Xbox is going, what they have been doing. They really are opening up gaming to as many people as possible. I mean, that's the goal with Game Pass. Get as many people into the service, no matter what device they have. If they have a cell phone, they're going to be able to play the newest AAA game coming out from Xbox Game Studios or whatever other ones land on Xbox Game Pass. And it does a lot of other things, like it allows families with multiple children to be able to play video games at a much cheaper price. So it really is good for the consumer. Well, I mean, obviously at the same time making Microsoft and Xbox a ton of money. He continues on here to say there are really three key areas where we believe we have incredible competitive advantage. First is our leadership in cloud computing, which makes 100% sense. I mean, Azure, you have PlayStation, you have Sony doing deals with Microsoft to use their services. So they're going to be the point where a lot of companies who want to get into cloud gaming, who want to get into the subscription, may make deals with Microsoft to be able to use Azure. And then goes on here saying, second, the resources we have to build out the subscription value with Xbox Game Pass, and third, our overall focus on empowering the creators. And so I'm really excited about the opportunity in gaming. So the resources, I mean, I'm assuming he's talking about being able to get as many IPs, as many great games on that service as possible, the manpower, the technology, the money Microsoft has to be able to do this, and then empowering creators. I mean, you think about ID at Xbox, how great that is for indie devs, and you think about Phil Spencer talking about what they're going to do with all of these development studios that they are acquiring and how they are going to allow them to keep their culture and their creative freedom and not really push that corporate Microsoft stuff onto them, where you've seen this happen in the past, where a company, a developer is acquired and they're forced to make a certain type of game because that's what the company wants, that's what the board of director wants, because that's the type of game they think is going to make them the most money. But so far we haven't seen that with these studios that Microsoft has acquired. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It could very well happen in the future, and that would completely suck. But you look at games like Grounded from Obsidian, and that's not a game that is being forced to be made. It's allowing the developers who have this creative vision to make such a really cool sandbox game. So there's a lot of hope right now from what we've seen, and hopefully they continue along this path. Now, he also talked about the Activision Blizzard deals. So there's a lot of people discussing instantly becoming lawyers when it comes to these types of deals, thinking that there's going to be a big issue with this going through. So Nadella commented on this. Now, this is a Twitter thread here from Idle Sloth saying here that Nadella suggested that Microsoft should not need to make any formal concessions to win regulatory approval for the deal because it would still be too small to have an anti-competitive impact. So when he says here any formal concessions to win regulatory approval, I would assume he is referencing the fact that, I mean, Phil Spencer has come out and said that they're keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation. They have no desire to take it off, at least right now, with their current deals. I'm assuming he's talking about after that. Well, they have to go in there and say, hey, even though we're buying Activision Blizzard, we're going to make sure that all of these games stay on the other platforms, the PlayStation platform. I'm assuming that's what he means here when he says they don't need to make any formal concessions to win regulatory approval. And the reason he would say something like that is because even though they spent $70 billion on Activision Blizzard, it's still such a small amount of the industry in total. Like, they're still not even close to being a monopoly within the gaming industry. This year saying even post this acquisition, we will be number 3 with sort of low teens share of the video game market. We will be a bit player in what will be a highly fragmented place. I mean, it makes sense. You look at their overall revenue, they're not even number 1. They're behind Tencent, they're behind Sony. And even with this purchase of Activision Blizzard, it may change. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Tencent still has so many different IPs with them, so many different games in their company. Sony is still going to be making a ton of money, especially with the recent acquisition of Bungie. So they could still very well be ending up 3rd place after all of this. But Call of Duty is going to bring in a ton of money, and that could change things. But it's still not a monopoly when you look at the huge size of the gaming industry, the amount of developers out there, the amount of fragmentation, like it's mentioned right now within the industry. Now, if we continue on here, more acquisitions are made, that may change and may become less and less fragmented as we have these bigger companies all doing the arms race and trying to control as much as possible. But that's yet to be seen. He also makes another great point here saying also the analysis will have to extend to say why are these content companies trying to become bigger? It's because the place where the constraints really are is distribution. The only open distribution platform for any gaming content, guess what, is Windows. The biggest store on Windows is Steam. It's not ours. People can do any payment structure, whereas all the other gaming distribution platforms are closed. And yeah, he makes a lot of sense with that, because you look at Xbox, even the console itself is closed. You have to go through the Microsoft Store. PlayStation obviously is closed through the PSN, and Nintendo obviously closed through the eShop. But Windows is going to be a big part of this acquisition because everything that they are getting is going directly onto PC, and those games, as we've seen so far, are also available on Steam, meaning that you don't have to directly go through Microsoft or go through Xbox specifically to get access to these games. You can purchase them through Steam and keep them to your platform. So I think that's another thing that could be looked at with this entire deal. Now, when looking at the metaverse, gaming, the future, and all that type of stuff, that seems like that's where the gaming is going for the future. And the metaverse specifically was probably a huge reason why they went out and purchased Activision Blizzard, and Nadella touches on all of this stuff, saying take what's happening with the metaverse. What is it, the metaverse? Metaverse is essentially about creating games. It's about being able to put people, places, things in a physics engine, and then having all the people, places, things in the physics engine relate to each other. You and I will be sitting on a conference room table with either our avatars or our holograms or even 2D surfaces with surround audio. Guess what? The place where we have been doing this forever is gaming. To me, just being great at game building gives us the permission to build this next platform, which is essentially the next internet, the embodied presence. Today I play a game, but I'm not in the game. Now we can start dreaming that through these metaverses, I can literally be in the game, just like I can be in a conference room with you in a meeting. The metaphor and technology will manifest itself in different contexts. So right there, I mean, I think, like I said, Activision Blizzard, that purchase, the Bethesda purchase, all this type of stuff is really pointing towards where they see the future of the internet, the metaverse. You're going to have a bunch of different IPs within Xbox Game Studios where your avatar that you're using across these games is going to be able to have access to cosmetics and all of these things related to the different characters that are under the Xbox Game Studios family. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm still going to really need to be convinced about all of this metaverse stuff, because for me personally, I think about the metaverse, and from what I've seen so far, it's like going online with your avatar and just hanging out with people. And I don't know, maybe I'm just too old school for that. That doesn't interest me whatsoever. If I'm going to be in a metaverse and playing video games, and my avatar just kind of represents my gamer tag or whatever, which is kind of already available with Xbox. You can have your little avatar guy and people can go see your profile. I mean, that's cool, that's fine, I don't mind that, but I don't see the draw to going and hanging out with people in the metaverse rather than going and hang out with them in real life, just to kind of like hang out and see an avatar and all that type of stuff. I don't know, I've just never been into it. That's just me. I'm going to need to be convinced on how this is all going to work in the next internet. But hey, if you guys are into the metaverse right now, you're experiencing all of that stuff, I would love to hear your thoughts on it in the comments below. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about Phil Spencer winning the award and all of the stuff that Nadella touched on with Xbox gaming, the future, the metaverse, and just let me know all your thoughts on that. It'd be great to hear different perspectives out there. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you for your support. As always, if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video.